Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. It's part 87 today, and the first game on its own is big enough, but the episode is absolutely huge. We play a Manchester derby against the former Liverpool manager. It's first v second, 1 point separates us at the top, and Jurgen Klopp's side will be coming to Old Trafford trying to cause a surprise. And then 3 days later, we go away to Juventus in our first away group stage game since returning to the Champions League. So lots to get through. It's been a good month so far, and we're starting to see those chinks in the armour of the AI sides as well, Manchester City being one of them. So if you're looking forward to seeing how today goes and whether we can continue our good start to the season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. In the eye above, I'll put a link to yesterday's Hemel transfer deadline day. It was a very exciting episode to say the least. There's also the new review, the 92, featuring Everton Stadium, Goodison Park. And there's links to the Twitch channel and a football podcast as well. You can support the show as a channel member down below, but thank you as always for your incredible support. As we come back to reflect on a very good month, but frustration from the other clubs, because although City are 1 point behind us again, I've got to go and show you what continues to be stupid points dropped. Chelsea, who were second last year, are almost out of contention already. City lost to promoted Bournemouth. 2-1, early red card after going ahead in the second minute. And apart from that, they've been comfortable, but they concede silly goals. They then beat Chelsea, who have lost to the likes of Sheffield United and have 5 points after 5 games. I just don't understand the inconsistency some of them have this year. But there you go. What more can you do about it? Let's have a look at the schedule for the recent games. Some of them convincing, certainly in the league. In the cups, a little bit less so. You were with me for West Ham and deadline day. We came back from the international break with a 4-0 victory at home to Sheffield United. A Bruno Fernandes pen in the first half before Yakubu and an Mbappe brace wrapped things up. We then took a little bit of a gamble in what should be our easiest Champions League game on paper. At home to Zenit, who were without the 2 young players that we'd sent them on loan, Nieto the keeper and Erdogan the fullbacks. But we were 4-1 up. It was comfortable, it was easy, and it was wrapped up with an hour gone. Zolis, a Sancho brace and Rashford got the goals there. A 4-0 win in the league against Southampton at the weekend. As our first team were refreshed, it prevented the European hangover. Inacio got one, but an Mbappe brace, a man who started the season a lot better this year than he did last time around. And then a big moment in the League Cup third round. Again, we rotated heavily as a competition we're not prioritising. But Emre Özcan, the deadline day signing in the last episode, popped up with a crucial winner late in the first half. And Van der Voort, the other signing I questioned in goal, was magnificent. Made loads of saves. Southampton were the better side for the most part. But what that means after winning the Zenit game is that we're probably going to be in at least the Europa League after Christmas. We'll be hoping to improve that today against Juve. But Manchester City first is a big one. Whoever wins it is top of the league going into October. We've got Championship side Watford in the League Cup 4th round. We've got a double header against Hertha Berlin coming up and the likes of Liverpool in the Premier League. It's going to be an interesting little spell. But let's go and get into the first of today's 2 games. Everything looking good. The dynamics very solid at this stage of the season. And most of the squad getting game time, which is helpful too. So City versus United at Old Trafford. We're 1 point clear. We're 2 clear on the goal difference. But City have got Erling Haaland. They've now got Jurgen Klopp. And surely they're going to find form again soon. So let's get through the tactical meeting. Pick our 11 for today. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. And this, unsurprisingly, is the team we've gone for. The only maybe slight bone of contention is Sancho in for Rashford on the left. But that's because I want to have another striker available if we need to rotate in the week. We've kept the bench as strong and experienced as possible. And we have had to make one big decision at the back. Both centre-halves had a heavy match load. Bissone was really struggling in the last week or so. So Benjamin is going to come in for his first Manchester derby. It means Meslier between the sticks, Gaia and Pavati the fullbacks, Inacio and Xavier Benjamin centre-half. And Ponza and Jalocca in the middle, Yakubu, Sancho and Fernandes the attacking midfield 3. And Kylian Mbappe up front. What on earth are we going to do when they all need replacing? By Yakubu, they're all in their 30s now. And if you look at the bench at Zolis, Rashford, we're 29 plus. It's going to be very difficult to do. But for now, we just need to get the result. Into the game we go. Old Trafford is sold out as you would expect. Can City spring the surprise? Well, here are the lineups, and I think we've reached that year where City have maybe had a bit of an overhaul, particularly in terms of the old guard, the likes of Sterling, Ederson. Most of them, other than Diaz and Foden, who were still in that squad last year, are no longer there. So there has been a big change back in defensive areas, particularly. They've still got the likes, though, of Jack Bremner, Erling Haaland, of course, a superstar, and Obispo has caused us problems off the bench. Lamptey, a very good player too. And Teo, who made that move from Palace, our former club. We've managed him before. But let's go and get out and fight for the fans. Try and get a positive result. If we win this, I'll be honest, I see nothing other than a title win. But let's hope City can make it interesting. At least give us a close game and hopefully take it down to the wire. It's Mbappe v Haaland. Let's see who comes out on top. We're back with just 5 minutes on the clock, and it's Bremner on the run forward for Manchester City. Tips up towards Haaland, who's not able to do much with it. Sancho finds Inacio, and it works its way back to the keeper. Feels like it's going at 100 miles an hour this game, as Yakubu finds Mbappe. I'm pretty sure he was offside. I was just checking that the speed hadn't gone up. It hasn't, but I can't see this goal standing. There was no one playing him on, and there you go. The referee was signalling before the VAR message popped up. 0-0. City survive. So we're back with a throw on the left in a very advanced position. Just over 12 minutes on the clock. Pavati playing some great stuff. That is a super goal. I was getting the applause out. Bruno Fernandes into Yakubu, but was he onside? It's very close again. This one, there's a possibility of it standing. Pawson's check-in. Goal awarded. Yakubu at the back post with his 6'6" frame again. 1-0 United. First shot on target. First goal. Well, into first half stoppage time. It's been a really poor game, actually, but here is City on the ball, and it's been an even game. You could argue they deserve an equaliser, but instead it might be 2 to United. Sancho forces the save from Keita. It's a great chance. Fernandes again, pulling the strings at now 37 years of age. Nothing has changed on his front. But let's go and get into the second half. It's been an even game. There's not been a huge amount in it. The difference is we've got a big man at the back post who won a header and put us ahead. As Guy up throws in from right back to Yakubu, the goal scorer. Fernandes releases Mbappe on the right, loses out to Fernando. Here comes City down the left. They've got support for Erling Haaland. He goes wide to the right. Pavati, that's an awful challenge. I think he's going to be off. 2-footed, he lunged in. And that's the sort of challenge you get in a derby. We're going to have to rethink. I think Fernandes will have to come off because he's not got the legs to play in the midfield too. And the number 10 is the man we're going to have to sacrifice. I'm actually going to take Jalocca off as well, as he's on a yellow card. I'll bring on Johnny in centre midfield. I'll take off Fernandes for Bordenelli, and he's going to swap into left back. So, not the best start to the second half. We could have done with a little better. I might even put Amponza back and protect the left back, but I'm not going to for now. 51 minutes gone, it's 1-0 United, and now it becomes a hanging on job. This could liven up the title race early. As we've got a free kick 30 yards out. We have always got that counter-attacking threat, and Ruben Diaz picks up a yellow card as Mbappe puts it over the bar. Not the best effort in the world. He's actually having a really poor game, so I might just chuck Rashford on soon and see if he can do a job for the last few minutes. We have got that big game against Juve in 3 days. We're chasing the ball a lot here. There are a lot of negatives potentially for the rest of this week as Foden picks it up for City. He gives it to Ruben Diaz and Bremner. On the left wing, got no one closing him down. Plays it to Lamptey, delivers to the back post. Bordenelli does really well. Sancho gets it away. And Ponza. Wide to Yakubu, it's under hit. As is that from Bremner. As was that from Johnny. It's a terrible passage of play for both sides. And we're trying to play out from the back. We just about get away from it. Although Johnny's still got possession going backwards to Inacio. And Ponza. Wide to Sancho. This is better. Big switch of play. Yakubu's in. Has to take the chance. Wraps it up on the counter. Does he? No. Miles wide. Terrible finish. The build-up, though, was absolutely scintillating. Just over 10 minutes to go. Nothing between the sides. Except from a Yakubu header in the first half. As Amponza finds Bordenelli. We don't look bad with 10 men, let's be honest. And that's what it's taken to be a leveller here. As Meslier. Out to Benjamin. Had a fantastic game so far. Into Johnny and Amponza. Support over the left. Bordenelli. What the hell was he doing up there? Why was Bordenelli the last man beating the offside trap? Not what we want when we're defending a 1-goal lead with 10 men. And it's come back to cost us because he misses his chance. Foden puts a free kick in from the other end. And Haaland is there to score the goal. And where Mbappe doesn't have a good game, Erling Haaland has scored. The offside flag does not go up. VAR awards the goal. And now we need to cling on for a point, which would actually be a decent result, as Kumbula's got a free kick on the centre spot. Up towards Haaland, it's hacked away by Benjamin. Yakubu wins a header, but it's straight down to Foden. Lamptey over, Bordinelli heads clear. Sancho flicks on. It's attack v defence. Obispo picks it up on the right, in towards Lamptey. Gaia wins the header, as you would expect. Bremner delivers again though. Up towards Ignacio heads clear. They're peppering the box with crosses. But can we get one on the counter? Sancho brings it away. Rashford loses out. It's up to Erling Haaland. Does Ignacio. Finds Obispo. It's always him. And late on, Manchester City turn it around. The tired legs for the 10-man side have told. And unfortunately, Manchester City will go top of the league. And at least it's going to make it interesting this year. Kaiser with a free kick for them. 5 minutes added on. Meslier makes a super save. And we're having to chase the game now, which means we're leaving spaces. We're potentially conceding more. And Foden's got an in-swinging corner. Exactly where City want it in stoppage time. Bordinelli heads clear, but it's straight back to City. They've got too much time, too much presence with the extra man. And they've got too much quality on the ball. As Kaiser finds Fernando. He gives it wide, up towards Haaland, flicked on. Meslier is able to get there first. And now think if they hadn't lost that stupid game to Bournemouth, they'd be on 18 points, 5 clear, and really having a go. Pavati's let us down, probably the first time since he joined this club. We're proud of the efforts with 10 men, and now we turn our attention to the bigger games, because Champions League football is back away from home, and we head to Italy to face the mighty Juventus. Fitness test time ahead of a big game in the Champions League. The episode has not started well for us, the week has not started well. We've got to bear in mind that we've got another game. Thankfully, it's not till Sunday, so we might be able to go full strength here if everyone's fit. But realistically, the difference between a win and defeat today is looking at winning the group and maybe Europa League football after Christmas. So it could be very different stories dependent on the outcome. Let's see who's fit from the game on Saturday. Pavati will be, and he's going to have to play because he's not there at the weekend. We're going to bring Bassone back in for Javier Benjamin. I'm going to start Yakubu, but it won't last too long. Sancho will be swapped for Zolis. Just want to freshen things up a little bit. 2 changes made. I think that's enough. We have to do a bit with the bench as well because you don't get as many in the Champions League. So Hannibal on for Johnny. Rashford on for Thompson. And in fact, I'll put Johnny on for Bordinelli as it gives us a little bit more in terms of strength in depth and versatility. So our 11 for today sees 2 changes. Bassone and Zolis in. Sancho drops to the bench, as does Benjamin. Now let's see what impact it makes. Away we go to Italy for our first Champions League away game with United. And really, we need to find a way to avoid defeat. Well, Mikel Arteta is in charge of Juventus. And if you consider that we're in the 11th season, there are an awful lot of real players there, which makes me think this is going to be an ageing squad yet again. Problem we've seen throughout this year. De Ligt and Romero, the centre-halves, Locatelli, Ferran Torres, Sinchenko, Chiesa, Rodrigo, even the bench. Got the likes of Castagna and Gallagher playing for mid-table Premier League clubs at the minute. It's a very strange-looking Juventus squad, but let's see how we get on against them. We're going to ask the lads to impress us. On a European note, I did notice one of you said in the comments that Arian Calantari had got his move to Real Madrid, so that might need to be our next club after United. But we want to win the Champions League here. And today, it's going to show how many years we're going to have to wait for that. As Fernandes plays a 1-2 with Pavati. Not gone well their early doors though, as Juve win it back. De Ligt can play out from defence to Locatelli. He goes back into his centre-half Romero, plays a good 1-2 with him. And it works out to Chiesa on the left, charging into the space. Loads of time. No one really putting pressure on him. Delivers to Locatelli. He's got space to shoot. It's a great save from Meslier. Not a good start from United. We survive, it's still goalless, but the Italian's on top, and it's a full house here as well. As Chiesa puts it in, Bassone heads clear. Locatelli again has time on the ball. Gets into the box, no one can touch him. Inacio and Fernandes clear. Zolis, a little bit of a risky flick in his own box there. We get away with it. It's out to Mbappe on the left. Can we get some magic from the Frenchman? Into Amponza. Gives it away. Chiesa's deflection falls for him nicely though. And it's a little bit of a chaotic counter-attack. Nothing happens. And we're back again. We're just under 10 minutes gone. Yakubu chasing Ibanez, who finds Zinchenko and Chiesa. Juve definitely looking the more comfortable on the ball, and that's a lovely reverse pass from Rodrigo. Ibanez released down the left into Chiesa, goes for the shot just over the bar. I'm going to drop to a cautious mentality here. Balanced wasn't enough. Juve right on top. Well, half an hour gone. It's Juventus who have been the better side, but we have got a set piece in a dangerous position. Nobody wins the header though, and it falls for Yakubu out wide on the left. He plays back to Bassone and Amponza. Jalocca out to Yakubu again. Can he cut in and find the pass? Zolis. We just cannot break that low defensive wall of Juventus as Amponza finds Bruno Fernandes again. Through ball to Zolis. There's the goal. Zolis gets in. It's a brilliant pass from Fernandes. I said it against City. He's 37 years old and he's still our most important player. 1-0, first shot on target, completely against the run of play. And now an injury. Xavier Benjamin will need to come on. Ignacio is going to be a big loss if he's out long term. Bassone is a bit more comfortable on his left foot, so we'll switch them the other way round. Not an ideal finish to the half. Not really been a great performance at all. Having said that, we lead 1-0 at half time through our only shot on target in a game where we've definitely been second best. So we'll get into the second half. We'll keep an eye on Yakubu and Amponza's fitness. And we'll make some changes very shortly. As we're back with Juve on the right hand side, 10 minutes gone in the second period. Velasco picks it up, switches wide to Chiesa, who's been a threat all game. Takes on Gaia, forced back to Locatelli. The Italian internationals team up, and it's back to Romero and De Ligt. He must be a very long-serving player now, as Velasco finds Rodrigo through to Chiesa. Brilliant football, lovely dink finish. And it's 1-1, just like that. We are carved open at will. Brilliant move, brilliant goal. And our best centre-half, our Italian superstar. We could have done with him back there for that one. Well, 65 minutes on the clock. It's definitely time for changes. And Ponza is knackered in the middle. I'm going to bring on Johnny, who's the most defensive-minded. The most intense in terms of box-to-box play as well. Yakubu on the right. It's a loss physically, but I'm going to bring Rashford on for the extra attacking threat. Do you get any more subs in the Champions League? Let's give it a go. Because I'd like to bring on Emre for Jalocca. You can't. Only 3 subs allowed. But 25 to go. It's 1-1. And if we can hold on for this result, despite being the inferior side, it would be a really good one for us. Would certainly help us towards qualification. As Meslier rolls out from the back to Jesus Bassone. Just into the final quarter of the game. And Pavati, who let us down at the weekend, is playing out from left back to Zolis. The goal scorer finds Jalocca. Big switch of play. Rashford runs onto it. The defence is carved open by a brilliant pass. And Marcus Rashford on for Yakubu. Still doing the business well into his 30s. We take an undeserved lead again in Italy. We had 3 shots on target. We've scored 2 of them. And by no means do we deserve to be ahead. And speak of the devil, did you see it? Real Madrid v Bayern Munich going on at the same time as this game. And the man we mentioned at the start, Arian Kalantari, has scored on the biggest stage. To think we managed him in the Championship with Bristol City. No wonder we got them out of trouble so easily. Look at the quality of striker we had. He's gone off injured now though, so maybe that Real Madrid move is not one we'll want in the future. As Meslier goes long over the top. We're into stoppage time here. Let's get back to ourselves as Bruno Fernandes releases Mbappe. Hits the post. It could have been wrapped up. I'll be honest, I've got no idea how we're winning this game. But we will take the 3 points and the almost certain qualification that comes with it. Because Manchester United are back in the Champions League and back delivering. Pavati overhits that. It's out for a goal kick to Juve. But it should be just about it. We're in the final 30 seconds of stoppage time. It's a big heave down the left, which Gaia heads out for a throw. And we're seeing this out really professionally as it stands. We've put them to more defensive duties, the fullbacks, and it's working. As Chiesa forced backwards on the left. Locatelli chips it up. Benjamin heads out for a throw. And that is it. The final whistle goes. A very undeserved 2-1 victory away in Italy. And 6 points out of 6 in the Champions League. The title race might be back on in the Premier Division. We're doing the job in Europe. And that's what matters most at this moment in time. Well, poor Kalantari has got a 7-week injury at Real Madrid. But more important to us is Ignacio. We've only got 3 centre-halves really at the club. So this can't afford to be big. It is. Oh dear, oh dear. It was Fofana last year. It's Ignacio this year. As soon as they turn 30, they fall apart. So Bordenelli will now have to be a backup centre-half, as probably will Asher Gumby again. That's less than ideal, it's got to be said. Let's have a look at the schedule though for when we're next going to be back. I mean, it could have been Liverpool, Hertha Berlin. There's so many big games, but as that Juve one was really close and as the Premier League title race is hotting up, let's come back for the reverse Juve fixture and Crystal Palace, our former club at home. I don't know if they're still going under Niko Kovac or whereabouts they are in the league, but I think that'll be a pretty good episode. Or alternatively, we could show the Leeds game if they're still up there at the one after. So it'll be one of those two league games, either side of the Juve reverse. Hopefully we'll be through in the Champions League by then. But if you did enjoy this episode, two very different performances, a letdown from Pavati and an undeserved victory in Italy, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. There was a massive transfer deadline day in the Hemel Hempstead save yesterday. You can find that in the eye above, as well as the new Review the 92 earlier this week. The podcast channel's up there too with our latest monthly ramble, as is the Twitch channel for regular live streams. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always. I'll put a link to yesterday's transfer special above my head right now. Hopefully, I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time as we try and secure Champions League football after Christmas with United. See you there.